Mike's good.
And good afternoon. We are live. It is the Group Chat Podcast. We are doing our special weekend wrap up edition where we're going to start doing this on the weekends. We got stuff that happens all the time over the weekend. So we will just get on live, hop on, and just fill you in on everything that's been happening. We're going to be talking some AAU basketball a little bit, but we also got some stuff happening in the world of boxing to break down. And whew, man, the LSU baseball team is crushing it in the Baton Rouge Regional. I am Casey Gisclair. This is Damian St. Pierre. We welcome Jacob Gyro to the show today. Gentlemen, you guys were busier than me this weekend. How are we doing today?
Glad Gyro subbing in for a poolside Nicholas Aber.
Nick is hanging out at the pool.
I assume he wouldn't
He
just
wouldn't
let us go.
confirm.
Hey, so something pretty cool that we're gonna do today. So, like Casey mentioned, Sunday afternoon. If we got time, we're gonna jump on talk about what's going on. But I'll put the number in the chat if you want to call in. We are taking call in guests today,
Hey.
and I got a feeling I know the first dude right here. So we'll put the number in the chat. It's going to be 985-637-1513. Feel free to give us a call, get on there, and talk some trash with us. So, yeah, Casey, this weekend, sixth grade Lady Flash, fourth grade Lady Flash, eighth grade Lady Flash participated in the AAU Girls State Tournament. It was interesting for
Yeah.
sure. Sixth grade lost in the championship, and we've lost to that team twice, and we beat them once, and both times the loss has come in their house. And the eighth grade, we were 1-1 on Saturday, and then we came back today and played a really, really, really good game. Probably one of the better games that we played. But down the stretch, we missed some free throws, and we missed some layups, and that was the difference. We beat the team on Saturday, lost to them by 4 today, but the difference was just knocking down shots and hitting free throws. We probably missed 12 free throws, and that was crucial at that point.
Yeah. Can't miss free throws at that level. Maybe a little heavy legs. I know that's a lot on a Sunday.
Yeah, so we were texting. Casey and I were texting back and forth, and how many years ago? Anna Coco. That was probably 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something
Will
like
Reese.
that. With Will Reese, they ran five pretty much the whole season. They didn't sub at all in the games that we watched them, and we ran some Anna Coco ball today.
Yeah, no doubt. Coach Gyro, you were out there as well. What did you make of the girls' performances, man?
Um, what I mostly saw from the jump was we started out kind of slow pretty much in all of our games for the most part, but kind of just taking the girls a while to kind of just settle in, especially with those early games and even those first games on Sunday. The legs aren't really there at first, and mental isn't really there at first. So we kind of just waking them up and really getting them going and locking in the biggest test. But I can't really say much about how the way they played. They adapted. We put them to the challenge multiple times, and they stepped up and played some really good basketball throughout.
Good deal. So the sixth grade team finishes runners up, correct?
Yep.
Eighth grade team in the semifinals goes out.
I mean, technically third place, but
Okay.
we don't really claim third place.
Don't
I didn't want to
claim
claim
bronze medals.
second place, but look, that's sixth grade group. The eighth grade group on the girls' side is the standard. So I guess just all the time I'm going to compare them to them because that was really my first and only girls group that I had. That's a very special team that folks are going to get to reap the benefits from over the next 4 years. They have that potential. It's pretty cool to see. They're not there at all, but they find ways to win. They put it together. There's maybe 6, 8, 9 minute spurts where they look the part, and then we make some mistakes and we come back. But at the same time, they're always going hard. They're always hustling. They're doing the right things. So can't really get on them. But I'm just trying to let them know how much potential that they really really have.
So let's talk about the boys for a second. And I don't know how much you're going to know or not know, but I did see that Joby's guys were actually, I think, playing whenever I left the house. So they're out there, I think, in Alabama. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
I think they're actually in the championship game again. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it was a busy weekend on the boys' side as well, and Flash doing some good stuff, man.
Yeah. So Joby has his JV boys team in the. They actually lost in the championship game to the host team. But that's a huge tournament. I know they were in one of those bigger brackets, and I know they get split on the Sunday. So he came out and obviously got to the championship game. And it's hard to beat a host team.
Yep.
Anytime, specifically in a championship game. But kudos to Coach Joby, his squad, what they did. I didn't catch a score or anything, but I did see some live video of them getting on the podium and accepting that their awards. But credit to them. Coach Travis, he was supposed to be on He participated in a day of games in Baton Rouge on Saturday. I think they may have won one out of their slate. So he just wanted to say that this is a big time. This is the time to learn to play big boy basketball. Summer ball is very physical, and with a running clock, there is not much time to mess around. If you want, you have to want to the you have want the pressure. I'm reading. I'm illiterate. I'm focused on not overcoaching right now. They played a lot of basketball over the last few years. Learning the game at this important juncture in the middle school transition is the focus. Learn how to play without a whiteboard.
Devin, scroll up, brother. I see he's in the chat asking for the number. We got that number for you. Just scroll up a little bit if you need us to shout it out again. Just,
I knew that would be the first guest.
yeah, we are taking calls today, man. Getting fancy schmancy with our call-in line. We're going to be able to get coaches on now. We're going to be able to do so much more with this platform. Not everybody could be with us.
So I'm trying to get Tommy's in the chat. I tried to get him to come on, and actually, I know he was at the fights last night. He could give us a first-hand review, but I also asked him if he remembered it.
So Tommy had tickets to the fight and didn't invite any of us.
But he's going to come on and he's going to say that he did, because that was the conversation last night between me and Murda. Oh, we got Trent Rupert on the line. 4th grade Lady Flash coach Trent Rupert.
Beautiful. Hey, Trent, how we doing?
Trent, you live, bro, so don't say nothing crazy.
Yeah, no. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. That has been from day one, man. And look, let me ask you this. You mentioned the beginning of the summer season. Didn't go so well. You guys were losing some lopsided ones. That's got to feel good, though, when you run into the same team and have a better outcome where it's a much more close competitive game. That's got to let y'all know that what y'all are doing in practice is paying off, right?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that during you guys' game, all my girls were loudly cheering them on when Veda Gouger hit that 3 to start the game. But Coach, I got to know, because I wanted to ask you this before you left. What we have an audio issue apparently.
Yep, saying we can't hear the caller. Maybe we're gonna have to turn up.
Yeah,
so we can hear the caller.
Let me crank that up. It might be too loud now, but we'll see. What was so you guys played the Kenner Angels on Saturday morning. Guys were defeated pretty heavily, and then came back today. I walked in and it was 10-11 with maybe 3 minutes left. What was the biggest difference from Saturday to Sunday?
When we do in practice, you see a big difference. When they get frustrated, their head game, they get chaos.
Yeah, that makes complete sense, especially coaching at that age. It's difficult just to have to manage them and manage the different situations. And being that you have a new team, that's also a big deal. I haven't had a new team in probably 4 to 5 years, and coming in and taking on this sixth grade team this year, it's been a challenge as a just having a new team and learning them and having them learn each other. I know you are a very similar situation as myself, and it's different girls from different areas. I know you got a couple Central kids and a Thibodeau kid, and having them gel, and it's definitely different. Talk about how important that chemistry is.
Three, 4 months. We start off the season, tied 3 goals. If we lose, let's close the gaps. I wanted every player to play every game.
Oh, that's
And I
the
wanted
one
every
dog.
player to get a shot. So we have about 2 more tournaments.
Yeah, real good, Coach. Hey, Damon, I don't know what you wanted to keep him on the line. Like, is this recording? Is what
Yeah,
I'm
we recorded.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, we'll be
okay,
good.
good. For those of you, we're working on getting the call-in volume over Facebook, but for those of you who are not able to hear, we're gonna get them on our recording, on our podcast side. So bear with us there. We're working out some kinks. Coach, very quickly, what's next for your fourth grade team? Very good.
Hey, I got to give you some credit. At least all your parents made it through all the games. Ours didn't. It's another story for another day. Appreciate it, Trent.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
We appreciate Coach Trent Rupert. Dude, one of the things that I liked the most whenever I was a coach for the Flash, and I remember vividly, I don't remember where we were, but I remember we had the team with Terrence and DJ and Jaden Coleman and all them guys. And I remember them watching the bigger boys, Kendall Walker and all them. Coach Pokey was coaching. And to see our younger boys looking up to the older boys, that's what it's all about. Sounds like you guys got the same thing going on the girls' side. That's freaking awesome.
I can tell you exactly where it was because I remember that just like you do. That was at Bruley High School.
The mean streets of Bruley.
All of our younger boys were on that railing, cheering on. I believe that was Kendall Walker, Maddox Gidry, Ike Gidry's son, Sydney Bruce, all those cats. That was a really, really good class.
I think that was like the first time that Coach Pokey was like a head coach, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he had started at LCO yet. I think he was still in
this was way before that.
Yeah, so he was getting his feet wet, getting some experience.
Everybody got a little feet wet with the Flash.
Man. We were talking about that too. Coach Nick Sinak got his feet wet with and he was a head coach before, but Coach Nick Sinak was a coach with the Flash. You don't realize how many people have been impacted.
So I was randomly looking up. I was trying to find game film. So and I was searching our stuff to see if we played this team or whatever. And I came across a Lady Flash game. I clicked on it, and it was Coach Nick Sinak the year that he was there. From what I saw, Woogie Sheremy, Jimmy Tillier was on that team, and I couldn't recognize too many more. Crazy how that footage, the quality of footage has improved over the years. That was pretty grainy. I think we got it now.
Right. So
got Vic in the chat, Casey.
What's up, Vic? How we doing?
Vic Hernandez in the chat. Vic, we're gonna talk about you in a little bit, bro.
Congratulations to Vic on a big win. Very quickly, boys, before we dive off the AAU stage and get to the boxing stage, we actually trained a second ago, so I'm gonna ask you guys the same question. What is next for the ladies on the 6th and the 8th grade side?
we are going to travel to Coach Brad Boyd's big tournament in Lafayette next weekend. Always a really, really good time. Takes care of us, and man, we eat some of that Lafayette food. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. No, Coach Brad Boyd, a fixture in the Lafayette basketball scene, played at UL, does a ton of different camps and hosts a ton of different tournaments, and they're all over the area. Probably got 4, 5, 6 gyms. A lot of competition, and that's like I've been lucky enough to win a couple times, and hopefully we can bring something back next weekend as well.
For those of you who are listening and that you guys were hoping to catch Coach Rupert live, again, we are recording. We're going to get that in the podcast cloud. Wherever you listen to your podcast, we do have that audio there. So stick around, stay tight. In the next couple of days or so, we'll be able to drop that. Let's talk about some boxing for just a second, because we did have a big show in the city last night that Tommy didn't invite any of us to.
So here's the story with that.
Yeah.
This dude, we have a Snapchat group chat with a bunch of different people. So we've been talking about going to the fights. He drops, "Hey, do y'all want to go to the fights on maybe Tuesday?" Well, sure, we want to go to the fights. All right, I'm going to get with Mike, who's our guy at the Metro. Good friend of mine. Good dude. Never says anything else. And then sends an angry snap on Saturday night complaining that we're not there. So how in the hell are we supposed to know where we're going or if we're going? I was so confused. And when we got him, Murder was on the side of him. I said, "Look at this. He's pissed off at us because we didn't go to the fights. How the hell are we supposed to go to the fights?"
And he's already in the chat complaining. I'm sure, given the way his technology works, I'm sure his attempts to invite were met with, dial tones and busy signals, and or he tried to send us a text that didn't come through because we actually have real cell phones, like that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I felt slighted. I was wanting desperately to go to the fights last night, waiting on Tommy to send us an invite, and he just didn't.
That's a big L by Bottom.
Yeah, 100%. If you want to get snubbed from going to New Orleans, you better call Bado.
Stub by Bottom.
Now that we have TKO Tommy, let's talk about some of the fights last night. We'll get to Vic in just a second. Looking at some of the other fights on the show, were there any results here that were surprising? I know we kind of broke down the card. It looks to me, by and large, that the people that were supposed to win did. Am I reading that right?
So really, last night we here to be honest, right? By the time I got back to the hotel, and if I can spell correct, I can look it up.
Let's say I got it right here for you, brother.
So, Murda, his wife, and Jaro, and Devin Lewis and I all went and played golf after. So Jaro and I destroyed a couple of beers. So by the time we got back to the hotel, I was tired, fatigued. Listen to this. And Tommy's going to complain that I spend too much time in hotels. I wanted a walk-on's hamburger. I love walk-on's hamburger. So I ordered a walk-on's hamburger from DoorDash. I'm upstairs in my room. Everybody's down, which was crazy. We ended up with one of the Trojans travel baseball team families there with our squad. It was chaos. So I get a picture from my DoorDash app saying, "Hey, we dropped it off at the front desk," which is what I asked because I knew I'd be down in time. Go to the front desk. Lady says, "Oh, we don't hold orders." I did see a gentleman walking towards the elevator with a bag of food behind his back like he was hiding something. I should have just punched him.
Yeah. Yep.
So my tired, hangry ass orders again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the guy had sent me a picture of where he dropped it off. I was looking around the whole place and I couldn't find exactly where it dropped it off. So I ordered a whole nother thing.
So what is the rules for DoorDash? Because I could tell you that one time in Lake Charles, Brian Kale, Brody Williams, and I were in a Lake Charles hotel, and we wanted 5 Guys, and we were inebriated, and we didn't want to drive or couldn't drive, whatever it may be. So Brody gets the idea, man, let's just DoorDash this. And Coach Kale just didn't even order when he saw the markup. He said, "Man, that's way too expensive. The door, like 5 Guys is already expensive. I'm not paying like $30 for them to come deliver this." So Brody and I got a hamburger and fries each, and the total bill was like $90. It's like what's and Coach Colley to this day says that like we're big ballers, high rollers, like whatever it may be. So what's the rule there? You ordered twice. Obviously, you're in the same opinion as me. Like, hey, if you're hungry, you gotta eat, right? What's the rules there?
The unwritten rules.
Like
or
when
the
is it
actual
when is it
rules?
too much? Like when is it? Hey, just carry your ass to McDonald's.
So, look, I lost a lot of weight. I'm very proud of it. I'm a protein shake in the morning guy, and then the rest of the day is kind of hit and miss for me. So I coached 4 games, ate a handful of grapes prior to going to play golf. It was hot
Handful of
as
grapes.
hell out there. Played 18 holes of golf, got back. That's all I wanted. Wasn't driving there, so the price really didn't matter to me at that point. So I ordered it twice,
All right.
but it wasn't. I think it was $32
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad.
per, so 64.
Now, what Coach Colley doesn't realize is that our Five Guys order probably was $80 and just
Yeah,
the delivery
it's
markup.
yeah, it's $100 a burger over there.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
So, what's your rules about DoorDash, Jacob Gyro? And when do you say, hey, no, man, that's too much?
I actually played one a little bit smarter and more current age than the old man to the left of me. So I went basically as soon as I went to the shower. I would probably take about 20, 25 minutes. So I ordered before I got in. By the time I got out of the shower, I had the picture right in front of my door.
There you go.
And ask him what he did after that.
I ate the entire thing and went to sleep.
Yep. And I was up till 1 in the morning hanging out.
Could not do that.
So looking at getting back to the actual reason that we're here, besides talking trash, I did get a text during the fights from the guy. If you want to see the main event, you can check out the Group Chat Podcast Facebook page, which you may be watching right now. A couple different updates over the last 24 hours. I did get a text from that gentleman that sent me that. I'm not gonna call him out. And he was like, "Bro, these fights suck." He must have been in the first 3 because it looked like the first 3 went pretty quickly. And all pretty much according to the script. And then it got into the real main course. And, aside from Vic, the fight that we were looking at was Junior Machado 5-0 against Antonio Gates. That looked like pretty much I don't know, 57. If so, sorry, we'll revert that. So Junior Machado won a split decision. You had a 60-53 score, a 59-54, and a 57-56. So that fight had to be pretty
How
close.
does that happen?
That
60,
is
53 and then 56, 57?
I'm convinced some of these dudes turned the cards in prior to the fights.
Yeah, dude, that's like, how do you go in a 6-round fight, one guy having him winning by 7 points and the other guy having him losing?
I don't know. I've seen some crazy stuff happen. I could remember one fight at the Blackham Coliseum, and this was years ago with Martin Verdun against Blake Prevost, who's a jam-up. Martin's jam-up guy as well. And one scorecard was 60-54 one way, one scorecard was 60-54 the other way.
That's crazy.
And we ended up getting the split decision on the other card. But I don't know, man. It's just, I guess people value different things.
So talk to me about this, and we're gonna Victor. I know we've been saying, oh yeah, well we'll get to Victor in just a second.
We got to tease,
Yeah,
man.
we gotta keep them here for a little while. I feel like, and I think that you guys are gonna agree with this. And I'm not saying that this is what happened yesterday, because obviously the guys that are watching the fights are not plugged into any audio or any commentary. But I feel like there are times when I'm watching a fight on pay-per-view, if the announcers are rooting for something to happen, they're going to make it seem like that's what's actually happening, even though it's not. So, for instance, like if Canelo's fighting a bum, and the bum is actually getting the better of Canelo, but it's a Canelo Alvarez Promotions is putting on the fight, the announcers, every time he lands a jab, oh, a big jab by Alvarez, oh, a big right. And you listen to that, and you're thinking, man, Canelo's beating the shit out of this dude. Like, sometimes I feel like what you're wanting to see sometimes is what you see.
So a lot of the times when I was really, really hardcore into boxing and they had one of those crazy decisions happen, I would actually go back and watch the fight with the sound off. That was kind of the thing to do to get a true score of what the fight may actually be. But yeah, you're right. Exactly where the money is where they're going to lead everyone to believe what's going on. But you're sitting there as a judge, you don't hear any of that stuff. A few years back, and I'm saying a few years back because you dogged me last podcast.
Who's this?
You.
What I did.
I said a few years back and it ended up being 20 years back. So I'm not dating anything anymore. I'm just saying years back. The WBC had actually used to announce, I believe, in rounds 8, 10, and then obviously after 12, what the scorecards were. So you had an idea of what you were facing.
So
and
like
what
to
you
the
were-
corners, they
to
would tell
every-
you guys.
the PA announcer would announce it to
Wow.
everybody, and then they would, if you had a LED board or any kind of video screen, they would put it on the video screen. I thought that was pretty cool.
I do like that. I think they should do that after every round. Keep it up on the scoreboard so you know exactly where you stand.
I'm telling you, we could open up a boxing Pandora's boxing. Uh-oh. Are we trying this?
I mean, they're not going to hear, but it's going to record, so why not?
Hey, Tom.
How we doing, jerk?
Going on Echo Bobby.
Yeah. How is Biloxi, brother?
Are you recovering from Biloxi or New Orleans?
Hey, Tommy, all kidding aside, before we start trolling you, happy birthday, buddy. Hope you had a great birthday with the family. Oh, here
Please,
we
I
go.
want to hear your side of the story before I tell you something. Thanks. Bro, we were done by 2:00. So here's the thing. If you reach out to me and say, hey, you're normally the ticket guy.
Right.
So you reached out to us. I'm waiting on that follow-up. I got nothing. Yes, I did. Oh, he's talking about the Creed concert? Yeah, I think that was like 3 months ago was RL Grant.
Tommy, what are your thoughts on Damian and Murda's new hobby of playing golf every weekend?
He hates it.
I know he does. That's why I asked.
Hey. It's definitely not frowned upon. And Murder went with the tuck yesterday, which was an interesting move. Probably added 4 or 5 strokes to his game.
Can they hear? Can you guys hear Tommy? The comments are leading us to believe that they can, which would be amazing. Tommy, I got a question for you, man. When's Florida's next NCAA tournament game?
You just go with the birthday and you just take it right away. You know, I mean,
No, look, Bado, Louisville's doing a great job. We could talk about UL if you want. All right. All right. Fair enough, counselor. Well, look, man, we still trying to figure out some things with our phone lines, but we appreciate the call, all right, bro? Yep, that is Mr. Tommy Botto. Again, we know that you guys were not able to hear that on the Facebook Live, but we are recording when we drop the pod. We're going to get that right. And I promise we're going to get it right to where we'll be able to hear him in the future. We're working on some bugs, y'all. We got some new equipment. And that's why we're doing this, so that we could figure some things out. Because guess what? When it's September and it's football season, we ain't going to have any of these bugs anymore, and we're going to be rocking.
So shout out Tommy. He keeps buying us new equipment, which is awesome. So, but then it takes us a little bit to figure it out.
Look, we give the dude so much shit here. He's a really, really, really good human being, and we appreciate having him on our team.
Sometimes.
So,
You know what? I made it a point to not tell him happy birthday because I knew he was going to jack up those fight tickets.
so
Those original plans kind of got overshadowed by the golf trip.
Yeah, but I mean that's an easy edit.
what
Just
course?
go.
What course?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no! I thought both of y'all were like, oh no, and then the no. All right, I got you. Cool.
It was nice.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got out of the clubhouse because I would have spent a fortune.
Yeah,
They got pools. They got all kind of stuff.
that's the thing about golf, brother. Is if you get into it big, it could eat up a lot of that side
I'm
cash.
gonna try to improve my score before I start really spending some money.
So let's talk about it. Victor Hernandez, local guy from Golden Meadow, 13-0 coming in, taking on a journeyman, Aldemar Silva, a 40-some-odd-year-old guy. We said on Wednesday's show, hey, look, he's more than likely going to win. He needs to look impressive doing it. He did. He knocked his ass out in a minute and 17 seconds. And watching the video, like, he hurt him. It was not a fluke. He was beating the snot out of the guy at the end of the fight. Aldemar Silva is a guy who has been stopped at times, but who in his previous fight had gone the distance with a guy who was 13-0. So, I mean, at times he fights these prospects and does withstand the test of time. So, my question to you, you know the boxing world more than me. We said Victor needed to be impressive. How impressive was impressive getting him out of there in a minute and 17 seconds?
Victor did exactly what he needed to do. What I was impressed with, and I didn't look at Silva's size coming into the fight, and I'm looking at it right now. It looks like he's been fighting at that 132 to 126 weight class. Victor looked really big compared to him last night. And look, obviously I wasn't there. I got trolled for that, but it was good to see Vic in his size and seeing how the condition that he looked like he was in, and just to go out and take care of him. Because we talked about those type of fights could be trap fights where you may overlook somebody who's 44 years old, got a backwards record, but he did the right thing. He got in there, took it serious, and took care of business. It looked like everything that he threw hurt him, hurt his opponent, and he could have ended it whenever he wanted to, which is exactly where he needs to be right now.
Yep, great opportunity for Victor now coming up. We mentioned in August, on August the 2nd, scheduled to fight in Nashville. October the 11th, scheduled to fight in El Paso. And we talked about this Wednesday. Nashville probably going to be another guy that he should win. But then you mentioned October the 11th, El Paso. You said, hey, man, that's where the big boys come. So you're thinking it might be one more step up the ladder before like getting a big, big opportunity, right?
So the Texas Commission, they're very similar to Las Vegas, California. They don't just let any fight happen. They investigate the opponent. They investigate the camps. They're very, very into everything that goes on and any fight that gets approved. So you may see a 500 record. You may see a winning record. It all depends. But you won't see a backwards record like that. That'll get let go in a Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi on those type of fight cards.
Yeah, very good. So look, for Victor, he is now 14-0 with 12 knockouts. And you know the one thing that stood out to me most, and I get it, he had a lot of his own people there, and there were a lot of people from this area that were there. But as I was watching the video last night, like I really feel like my boys like starting to become like a little bit of a star, man. Like they were oohing and ahhing, like they were looking forward to seeing him last night. And that's pretty freaking cool to see, man. A little dude from Golden Meadow, and he's like becoming something, man. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Vic's been fighting since he's 12 years old. He started in the Golden Meadow Boxing Gym, the Bayou Side Boxing Club, and it's pretty cool to see him shout that out and remember where he's from. And that's something that he's never done. He's never forgot where he's coming from. He's embraced the culture here. and the people support that. We need to. I don't know what it would take, but we need to get him on a fight card here. That's an instant sellout.
Yeah.
Somebody's sitting on a boatload of cash that has that amount of time to be able to do that, and it's very impressive. And you know that everybody here supports all successful folks.
Yep.
And in general, people follow winners, and I probably shouldn't say that, but I do on the middle school level. If we win, huge crowd.
Yep.
If we're losing, it's our family.
It is what it is, Bubba.
And
Yeah.
so I tell a lot of the boys and girls, if you want to play in front of a packed crowd, we need to win some ball games, and you need to promote it. Vic does a good job promoting. His promoter does a good job of getting his fights out there, and it's pretty neat to see a guy that started in the gym as a 112-pound 12-year-old, and now is a grown man at 31 years old, sitting in as a prospect in a boxing game.
Yeah, that is really cool. How old are you, Jacob?
27.
Okay, so Vic is a little older than
Just
you.
a little
All right,
bit.
okay. I don't know if you guys went to school or whatever, maybe.
Yes, he's a couple years older than me, but I remember from whenever he first started, you'd always see him side the road, running, grinding, always getting it, always had that mindset. And we even, like you said, we even noticed that fight we went to in Biloxi, that covered for Bayou Sports. That entire first row of tables, the league was booked by everybody from top to bottom.
That's
So that's something that you absolutely love to see. And even then at that fight, he didn't actually perform to his best that we noticed. He kind of didn't really look like he was in it. And just from what I saw, because we obviously missed it, but from what I saw from that fight, I mean, his size looked great, his mobility looked great. He did exactly what needed to be done. He got enough.
Charles getting smacked in the chat right now.
Is he? What are they saying?
You don't say nothing.
Oh, well,
Well,
that's
he's got
partly
some
my
big
fault,
shoes
too,
to
man. That's,
me a little bit.
that's
Hey.
partly my fault. I'm the point guard. I got to pass the ball to Jaro.
Listen, if you are dealing with Casey and I, we have huge egos, so
Yes.
you're gonna have to deal with us.
100%.
And then
You gotta just let him go.
the question asker is swimming right now. So Jaro's he's got to fill his void, and it's some pretty big shoes to fill.
So, in other local boxing news, our guy Zane Marks, who used to be big time down the bayou, and was one of your guys back in the day, did not even realize he was like still active until you sent me the video this afternoon of him fighting in Iowa. Zane was competing on a card in Cedar Rapids against Grover Young. Grover Young is a guy who is kind of a journeyman and a guy that you would think that Zane would beat. And if you watched the fight, which we did earlier, Zane was beating him. He almost knocked him out in the first round. Then just something happened. I mean, he just could stumbling around the ring. I don't know if he got hurt falling out of the ring or if he was tired, maybe all of the above. But Grover Young beat the hell out of him there at the end and then finally gets him out in a second round TKO. Grover Young was 13, 32, and 3. This is not a guy that 20 and now 8 Zane Marks is usually be losing to. This was painful to watch, man. I ain't gonna lie. That was tough to watch, man. But we saw a little bit of the old Zane early. He was moving fast. He was beating him up. And then it just something happened, man. It's crazy. It was unfortunate.
How much trouble we could get in if we stream this fight real quick? I mean, I paid for it.
I don't know. We do have a lawyer.
Tommy, chime in on it. I paid for this fight. If we show some clips here real quick,
Like just highlights, I feel like it'd be okay. I mean, if it was not like we're streaming the whole card, right?
right. So this fight was severely unannounced and unpromoted. I was randomly scrolling Facebook on my way home from Hammond today, and I'm a passenger princess. I drive to work every single day, and my awesome wife will take the reins on the weekend and drive. So scrolling through
Passenger
Facebook.
princess.
Oh, Casey, I'm the best passenger princess. I got the tunes, I got the snacks, I got it all. Sometimes I sleep, but most of the time I'm A+. So scrolling through, I see a fight card poster. I'm like, oh, when is this? The date's kind of small. I was, oh, this was last night. Went search how to see the fight. Saw Zane had lost. Went by the fight. Watched it. Zane, for the first 45, 50 seconds, looked like he was 26 years old again and just going to destroy Grover Young. He knocked him down early, and then he gassed out.
Yeah, it was rough.
And late in the round, probably 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the round, he kind of being a phone chalk, honestly, ducked a punch, kind of twisted to the side, and Grover Young hit him with a straight right hand. And that the fight wasn't over at that point, but it might as well have been. It probably should have been stopped at that point. The bell rang. Zane walked to the wrong corner because he was so dazed. The referee gave him that minute to come back. He kind of got his legs back under him, and he took a couple, kind of fell out in the ring on
Dude, kept
purpose a
falling
couple
out of the
times.
ring. Yeah.
2 or 3 times.
And Grover Young just took care of business. He forced the referee to stop the fight. I think he hit him with 3 straight right hands that Zane had no counter to, or he wasn't even really defending himself. And they stopped that fight. Zane's 40 years old. He fought at cruiserweight, 180 pounds. And then listen to the post-fight not press conference, but the post-fight comments by Grover Young. He's got a backwards record. What it was, 13 and 32 or 14 and 32, I believe.
13 and 32.
He was saying, I want to fight everybody that I lost to. I wasn't taking care of my health. I didn't care about my career. He was at 268 pounds, and now he's down to a cruiserweight limit of 200 pounds. He said, I don't know what happened to me, what I was doing. He said, I got it back. I figured it out. So
he did lose almost 90 pounds since his last fight in 2021.
So is that a bad opponent for Zane? Someone who just kind of took up boxing, took boxing serious for that time, and he ran into a buzzsaw? Is that somebody that's going to put together a string of wins? Or is he going to go back to his losing ways? But at 40 years old, 20 pounds over your fight weight, living in Iowa in the breadbasket of the country, how do you look? Been down this road. We did an awesome podcast back in the day on the story of Zane and what he did and how he did it. And how do you end up in Iowa? And he was the main event, and he was the A side of the main event. Like, he had people watching him there. He had people walking out with him. The crowd was cheering for him. How do you? I don't quite understand how you get to Iowa and develop a fan base in 6 months.
Look, I could tell you from just kind of falling into a rabbit hole here that when Grover Young was young in his career, no pun intended, and was actually the right weight, fought Bado Jack. Was it?
Yeah, Bado Jack.
Didn't get knocked out. Actually won 2 rounds according to the judge. Sergey Kovalev fought him.
He was good.
Didn't get knocked out. Quantas Graves is a name I've heard of.
West Bank guy.
Yeah, lost a decision, but didn't get knocked out. So this is a dude who's, when he's not 290 pounds, has showed like, hey, he could go. So as a promoter or trainer, whoever the hell's working with Mark, like, this is probably not a very good fight for him. And look, you're looking at it and you're saying, well, he had lost every fight since 2019. But like you said a second ago, he was 270 pounds. If you go back and look at what this guy's done under 200 in his career, there's a lot of W's and there's a lot of very respectable L's in there. Probably a situation where Zane probably came in overconfident. They were probably feeding him some shit that he didn't need to hear. And he got beat up a little bit.
And you're in Iowa. Iowa is one of those states that any fight passes. I can't imagine the population of boxers in Iowa is that great. They let any fight. If you look at that fight card, I guarantee you there's a guy with 50 losses on that card. I don't know that, but I'm
let's go find out.
My experience leads me to believe that there's somebody close with 50 losses there. There could have got a much, much easier opponent. Now, there was a belt involved, and you could see it there.
It's a dude who's 2-47.
So I'm close, right? There was a belt involved. Maybe that had something to do with the caliber of the opponent, but neither one of them had fought in years. What's the point of fighting for a belt?
So on this same card, we had a 2-47 Clifford McPherson lose to a 4-9 to Sean Kennedy. We had a 17-42 Brandon Bow losing to 3-7 Zach Hill. Yeah, 0-13 Marcus Parkinson.
See, I know a little bit.
He lost to an 0-1 Zachary Mills. I mean, it was a big ass card too. That bunch of fights, but my goodness, not too many winning records on that show.
So I'm gonna try to maybe post a little bit of this, but we're looking at broadcasting, restreaming, production, and/or whatever. Hey, Tommy, stay on the line, bro.
Tommy might be needed here very soon.
So let's see. If you're watching along at home, I'm gonna try to get to a good point.
So they're seeing your screen right now?
Not yet. So let's go ahead and share this. Which one do you think it is? Right. So this is Iowa last night at the Teamsters building, which is I feel like something seems. So I did read up on the law. If we are commentating on this with our stuff here, we're okay. So this is round one, Zane Marks versus Grover Young. And you could see Zane coming out just like he used to when he was fighting around this area, coming out looking to destroy folks.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's getting the better. They're just beating the hell out of him.
So when I was looking at the result, I was thinking, so there's number one. I was looking at the result and watching the opening time of the fight. I was thinking to myself, they probably got it wrong. There's no way
Yeah.
he lost this fight.
Yeah.
Every fight we had issues with that cup. Every single. We needed. This
What
is
is
a
he-
good watch along.
So what did he do? Like, what's that? Why is he wearing like a skirt? Like, why is he
That's-
just not wearing shorts?
That's what he does. But look, so he did fall through the ropes or whatever. Look at the strength of these ropes. They're like hanging.
I said the ropes are about to fall off.
So this is about knockdown number one coming. And you can tell Grover Young's got some skill. He's not bad. We put him in with we put people in with Zane that are way worse than that.
Ooh.
See, I thought the fight was over there.
Yeah.
I thought that was it.
I think Zane thought the fight was over right there.
And you could see Zane right now. He's gassed.
Yeah.
Threw a lot of power shots, and he's gassed.
For those of you watching, look at his mouth. He ain't breathing through his nose. He's breathing through his mouth. Mouth wide open.
How much time they got left in this round? Full.
He's going to win pretty much the rest of the round until the end. But the check engine light comes on at about the minute mark.
He's tired right now. And look, Grover Young coming down from 270 and Zane coming up from 168, 165, where he was comfortable fighting. That's a huge difference. We talked about Victor looking big last night. You could tell Zane doesn't belong in this weight class.
That's a good point. Well, look, Zane is a guy who was at his prime, what, 160-ish?
165, 160, yeah.
So now he's fighting 190-ish.
Yeah, 160. We was fighting middleweight.
Yeah, so he's I think it was 189 last night against a dude who was pushing 300.
And how old is Grover Young? I know Zane's 40 years old.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Grover is not 40. I looked at it earlier. Grover Young is, I think 35 is what I saw earlier.
Sure.
36.
So Zane's done this his whole career. He'll get on the ropes and ask guys to come forward, and that's usually him when he's tired. So the big shot is coming up, and we'll take it off after that. It's pretty brutal afterwards. Really, Grover swings wildly. Zane ducks and has no protection.
He's starting to get hurt now. You
Yep.
can see he's starting to get tired and he's starting to get hurt a little bit. Here
Right
we
here.
go. Bam!
That's hard to recover from that. I don't even know if the referee should have allowed the fight to keep going. He has no legs right now.
And he's gonna, and I don't know when we're gonna cut it, but he's gonna walk to the wrong corner. I mean,
stop it after that.
he was done. He doesn't get back into the fight. He's saved by the bell here. But I mean,
That's-
look,
and look, that's hard to watch for me because as much drama as him and I have had, I truly care for the guy.
I mean, you
It's
guys just
just-
saw he was looking for a stool in the wrong corner. He's drunk walking back to the right corner. Now, I mean, yeah, he was done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was tough last